Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you guys for joining me here. And so I'm going to be doing my first version of the mock draft here for the Los Angeles Chargers here. And so obviously last year for the Chargers, their season ended in disappointment. I mean, they had some ups and they had some downs. Some of the positive things, I mean, you look at the wide receiver position. I'll start there. Obviously having, guys like Mike Williams along with Keenan Allen. Both of those receivers exceeded 1,000 yards receiving. And then to look at, Austin Ekeler, he also had 20 touchdowns on the ground as well. Those guys stayed healthy. Derwin James put in a Pro Bowl performance as well. Then you look at Justin Herbert. He had some moments where he really lit it up this year. I should know I had him on my fantasy football team. But there were some moments that, as a team collectively, they just really let themselves down. I mean, it came down to a do or die situation against the Raiders. They were almost in the playoffs, but almost wasn't good enough. Went to overtime, but overtime just wasn't enough time to help them get into the playoffs. So they certainly have some areas in which they can certainly improve. First thing that comes to mind there is that run stop defense, especially the interior of that defensive line is going to be an area of concern that they're going to have to find a way to address. Mike Williams, he is a free agent, so what are we going to do about that situation? The good news for the Chargers is I believe they have the second most salary cap expectancy. And so that's good news. That means you're going to have money to spend. And if you make the right moves, this will be a team that will make the playoffs next year. But hey, the AFC West, extremely competitive. So let's go ahead and dive in here and do my version of this mock draft here. And so keep in mind, this is going to be my version here. And obviously free agency has not taken place at the time of this video here. So we'll have to see how things play out. All right. So right off the bat, we've got the Atlanta Falcons offering a trade that will not be accepted. But the Dolphins, they want for me to move back from 17 to 29, and I could pick up an additional second-round pick if I were to do this. And so I am pondering on that decision right now. Should I move back? There's really just one guy I'm really targeting right here in the first round for the Chargers, but I wonder if he would be available if I move back. And so that is what I'm thinking. It's a tempting, very tempting move to move back 12 spots here. I think I'll go ahead and take it. I'll go ahead and take it. And so that gives me an extra second round pick here. And so let's just see what happens here. So let's start the mock draft here. So right off the bat, before we even got started here, I went ahead and traded back to pick up that extra second round pick. Let's see if it ends up costing me here or if my guy will still be on the board here. Now, according to Fanspeak, what they say the team needs, obviously receiver, I agree with that. Tight end, Jared Cook, will be a free agent. We can get an edge guy as well. D lineman, a guard. They say center. I know we got I know that the Chargers did pick up that center. I believe Lindsey from the Packers last year. I believe he's still under contract. So I find that interesting there. Certainly another cornerback to put opposite side of Asante Samuels Jr. That's going to be very well as well. So let's see what we got available, guys. So right now, remember, I did trade back here. So we're still in the first round here. So right off the bat, looking at who's available, I mean, Trayvon Walker, the fact that he is available right now, that just blows my mind here. Again, this is the mock draft, so I do not do the picks for these other ones here. But that right there tells me that we can go ahead and get a very good edge rusher right here. Now, we've got a couple seconds to work with here. So I'll go ahead and take Trayvon Walker is what I'm thinking right now. I mean, he's just too good to still be on the board and to ignore, honestly. Just give me a second here. And so, I mean, outside of that, we could go ahead and take a D lineman, which is really a need here. What we really need is a D lineman here. But with the second round picks I have, I wonder if I could at the very least, pick up someone like Jordan Davis. Would he still be available for me in that second round? That is what I'm thinking here. I could go ahead and take him now just to ensure that I do get him or Devontae Wright, either one of those guys from Georgia. I could very well take one of those two guys. So there's some decisions to be made here because, I mean, we could go edge here. But, I mean, just given what he is right now, honestly, given what Trayvon Walker could bring to this team, I mean, let's see. According to the scouting report here for Pro Football Focus, when it comes to Trayvon Walker, let's see. What are we going to get from Trayvon Walker here? I mean, this is very interesting. I did not expect the board to still have him on there. I was pretty solid in terms of what I was going to go after here, but we could end up going edge first. So Just want to make sure before I go ahead and make that pick. And so, yeah, Pro Football Focus has him fourth on their big board, and they have him 23 overall. He's 6'5", 275 pounds. He even dropped into coverage some this season and managed to pass breakup. You think about playing against teams like the Chiefs, you've got the Raiders, teams that have quarterbacks, and even, Broncos, if they find a quarterback. Um, that would be an interesting pick there. It honestly would be an interesting pick. And so I will go ahead here and I'll go ahead and take Travon Walker here. So I know this may not be a popular move. Well, it depends on how you feel about that. But I know the need obviously is to get a defensive tackle here. So hopefully in the second round, I can still end up picking our guy at the defensive line here. But let's see. We'll see how things play out. All right, so immediately we've got one guy off the board. If Jordan Davis is still on the board, that will be the guy that we end up taking here. So let him still be on the board. He's still on the board currently. And so, we've got a trade offer here. Yeah, we're declining these trades here. All right, so I'm on the clock here. So I went edge. I took a gamble, guys, and our guy Jordan Davis is still on the clock here. And so I also see that Damone Clark is here, and I find that interesting as well. But no worries here, guys. I am going to definitely take that Jordan Davis pick there. I was going to take him with the first round pick, honestly, but when I saw, that we had our guy there still on the board, I mean, I had to end up taking him there. So, yeah, we went Travon Walker with that first pick. Second one here, we're going to go ahead and go Jordan Davis with this pick. So now we got that interior of the D-line going right there. That's a great pick right there. And so we're talking about a massive guy right there, and Jordan Davis there. I love this pick here. And so I'm happy I was able to get him in the second I'm thinking we might can go running back, guys. I mean, CJ Verdell. I mean, let me take a quick look at his scouting report here. We might can go running back. All right, let's see. Okay. I mean, let's see. All right, so looking at the scouting report here, they say the ideal role if a change of pace, complementary back, heavy zone blocking run scheme. Had some good games against California, Fresno State, USC. Best game was against Fresno State, though his worst game was back in 2020 against Cal. And they say vision, he runs with good vision and instinct. He knows when to cut back on a defender's weak arm. He also is good in the zone read situations from the pistol. Footwork, he's got good footwork. He keeps his feet churning upon contact. He also displays quick feet to add to his elusiveness in space. Contact balance. He is short but not small running back. He runs with a good base and low center of gravity. He has surprisingly good balance upon initial contact. Durability. He's been somewhat durable in college. However, due to his diminutive stature, limiting his touches in the NFL is the key to maximizing his talent. Explosiveness is good. Explosive speed. He runs. He quickly gets up to top speed when out in the open. Rarely is caught from behind on a big play threat whenever he touches the football. And so they say he lacks true versatility. He should be predominantly used as a change of pace running back who complements another piece. And so obviously down there, he's got some good things to work with there. So I think that if we're going to go running back, this is not a bad guy to go with. I personally like the kid. I've seen the kid, play down there in Oregon. I think this is a good pick. So we will add him to the mix, which leaves us with one final pick, guys. So with that final pick here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of our tight ends on the board. And so honestly, it's going to come down to about 3 or 4 guys. Take your pick. Let's see what they say about Trey Berry at tight end. So, yeah, in free agency, they're probably going to have to go after another tight end there. I'm still kicking myself that I did not get Ferguson when I had the chance in the 4th. I traded back, and it bit me, guys. I think it was the 5th round. It bit me. And so that would have been a sneaky good pick, I think, for this team. And so I'm still mad about that. Okay, let's see. All right, so Trey Berry, Boston College. So let's see. All right, so at 6'6", 244 pounds, coming out as a senior at his hometown, Alabama. And so some of the positives about him, I see that he averaged 17.2 yards a catch. So that's good. He had 4 receiving touchdowns, though, so won't give you too much in that pass game there. But what he will give you is, he can be a little bit of a deep threat, I guess. He's got some speed to him. Let's see what they say. Some strength is that he's a coordinated athlete and tough player to tackle, running with low pad level, has good body thickness and strength, excels finding soft spots in zone coverages, and uses his large frame to shield defenders, good strength and effort to run through arm tackles, above average acceleration for a big man, good vision to set up blocks. And while he isn't quick enough to elude tight quarters and take advantage of defenders leaning to sprint for additional yardage. And they say some of his weaknesses is that he's got a high cut frame, limited power in hands to prevent a top blocking grade. So with that being said, though, we'll go ahead and trust the board in this one. We'll draft them at tight end. So that is our picks, guys. So yeah, definitely understand, guys, if there's some picks here that, quite frankly, you don't agree with. Honestly, looking back at how the thing went, I do wish that I got a receiver a little bit earlier than I did here in the 6th round. But the good news is the Chargers do have a lot of money, and I feel like that's a position that there's going to be a lot of guys out there in free agency that you can go after and acquire. So that is why I went other directions in terms of at the wide receiver spot. And the guys you are bringing in, I mean, these are some guys that, hey, they could very well pan out, and be that receiver 3, receiver 4 in the future for this team. So good picks there. Let's see. I feel like there's going to be some controversy about the 4th and 5th round selections there. Again, I wanted to go tight end much earlier than this, and when I saw Ferguson on the board, I dropped that one, guys. That was on me when Ferguson, was there in the 5th round, and I traded back because I wanted to pick up another pick and still get my guy, but I knew it was a risk. I gambled, did not work out there. But there's still some good things to like on this board. The fact that I was able to get Jordan Davis, which I know was a need. I was willing to take him in round 1, but I saw Travon Walker up there at edge. So after I traded back, so I was able to get him and still get Jordan Davis. I like that. Damon Clark from LSU, having him, Brandon Smith, you got 2 good linebackers there. Let's not forget Marcus Jones and also Sevyn Banks there, 2 guys that we're trying to see who's going to step up and be opposite side of Asante Sanders Jr. So that's great right there. I should have got a guard a lot earlier, guys, honestly, looking back at this, but we did get one from UCLA. But I did have that debate back when I was going to take the kid from Virginia Tech, but I went Brandon Smith in this direction as well. As I mentioned, Chargers are going to have some money, 2nd most salary cap there. So whatever I missed in terms of this draft, I'm pretty sure the Chargers will be able to fill that out in free agency. But guys, let me know what are some picks that you do like about this mock draft, as well as, some picks you probably would have taken a different route, things like that, guys. It's all fun and games here, but definitely let me know your thoughts here. But appreciate you guys so much for taking the time to check out this mock draft. And hey, I look forward to reading your comments, guys. Take care and see you guys next time.